Welcome back to the Tangles and Toons channel where we are continuing our 31-day Zentangle challenge as part of the Inktober 2025 process. And we are going to continue with day 12. And the tangle for today is called Ole-Ole by Reyes Galindo. And we're going to be drawing that together, myself and Gayle.
Hello.
So as I glance at my overall composition, I've got quite a few opportunities for where I could place this tangle, but I think I'm going to stick a few of them right here. We're going to draw a line with a spiral at the end. So I like to think of it as drawing a printemps shape, a spring shape, with one long line that leads up to it. You can put curves in that initial line. You can draw it straight. It depends on your placement, but you might want to see how this pattern is arranged before you decide what you're going to do with it. So here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to start right here in my corner. I'm going to come up sort of diagonally and just finish my first little spot here with a spring or rounded shape like that. The next bit, and it's going to be a little obscured by simply because I'm right up against this line, the border for my nameplate. But the next line, you want to be big enough so that you can do some drawing inside of it. And then we're just going to fill in a couple more spots. So this one's a little harder for you to see on mine. Then we start up a little ways onto the spiral on the opposite side, and we bring a line that curves around and meets in the same place. Now what I'm going to do here is I make two more of these. I'm going to draw behind. So those lines are more of an impression of that shape rather than the actual shape. I'm going to draw another one that comes up this way and curls right around in here. And I'm going to draw one more that will rest and come up and maybe tuck itself a little bit behind our shape up here, the cuchumbro shape. So now what we want to look at, that first line that we drew that was connected to our spiral, and then we drew a line above that, another one of these little shapes. So in other words, if you look at from this direction, it's the third space down. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. On those spaces, we're going to embellish these. And we're going to use a very common embellishment that's used a lot in Zentangle, where we create some orbs that fit within that space. And I'm going to nestle them right up against each other. And we've actually used this here on the channel before in other tangles. And it's just a really versatile way to add some variety to a pattern and to break up some lines and to add a little ink. And we add a little ink by just filling in these little spaces that are appearing there after we draw those orbs or those circles. Now shading, again, there's many ways that every tangle seems to lend itself to multiple ways to be shaded. But I'm going to do a very simple where I'm going to shade these edges of the little lines that we drew there and in the corners. So here would be the edges and the corners there. I think I'm also going to shade along each side of these little orbs that I made. Now, they're small enough where it may not retain that well. It may get blended in too much, but we'll see how that works. And then I'm going to add a little bit of that, as I jokingly call it, the smiley face tangle. It's just to create a little edge of a reflection and a shadow simultaneously along these little spirals. Now I've also got a little overlap here, so if I want I can add some shadow there that will kind of obscure my other shadows perhaps, but it will help as always with that over and under. Turn my light off again for a moment so you can see it without some glare. I know it just can be so hard to see on the camera, so I like to do that so you can see that a little better, at least how some of that shading came out without getting washed out. Well, now that we have those 3 tangles in place for day 12, we're really at an end for today's session, except for our comparison and taking a look at Gayle's work. Have you got it done, Gayle?
Yep, I could fit 2 in mine.
All right, so you had a little different number of them. That's no problem. You did them very nicely. I like yours have almost a cartoony character to them. I like that.
Thanks.
That's very cool. So very nice. And oh, I do see that you also looks like you did your wolf. I don't think your werewolf was colored in like that last time.
No, I decided to go back and do that.
Nice. You did a great job. Your backlighting and that sort of glow behind him is really good.
Thanks.
And you got more teeth in yours than I did.
I added
That's
some.
awesome. Let's take a look at that. That's very nice. Great job, Gayle. And then there's a close-up of your tangle from today, the Ole-Ole. All right, so a little side-by-side here. If we can get those on the camera at the same time. I'm not sure if we can. Let me zoom back out. It's always hard to do with...
It's getting pretty full.
It's getting more and more full, that's right. So, but there you go. That's kind of the side-by-side for today. Well, folks, we're really having a lot of fun sharing this process with you. I hope you're enjoying it as well. And we look forward to seeing everyone again tomorrow for day 13 of the Inktober 2025 challenge. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.